Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Christmas in April, hosted by Maura O'Reilly, and it'll be where we'll all be creating something Christmas, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a layout. I'm going to scrap this photo here of my brother and his wife, and I'm using a few 49 and Market Christmas uh, collections, so I'm not sure where some of it's from. I just put them all together after the season was over last year. Um, I wanted that frame to kind of go a little crooked on there. So I made sure that I adhered it down in one spot because when I was trying to just lay it down, it kept moving on me. And so I went ahead and threw a tiny bit of adhesive on there. This scrap of the lace, it's going to still be a scrap because you can see I didn't use it all. I tore on the edge just to give it a little bit of more like this needs more of anything. It's awesome. Well, Katie Petite is an awesome designer, and I just love using the 49 and Market collections. I like more. I think Katie Petite does too. There is plenty in the collections. And like I said, there's three collections here: Noel, Christmas Splendor, Holiday, maybe Magic, maybe that was. I can't remember. But there's three in here. The Noel is, and I will be using some rub-ons from Noel, and it's probably 5 years old, if not older. I know I was still working, and it is from way back then. So yeah, they still work on here. I had to rub a little harder, but they still worked. I'm going to add just a little bit of black up there at the top. They're the in the photo, both of them have black on. So I wanted to make sure I used that. I did not have any more black plaid, but well, I'll use black. So I did use ordinary cardstock. I started to use the 49 Market, but I kind of hoarded it and just got a scrap of black cardstock out. I did punch out three circles in there to use beneath um, circle ephemera. I only used one of them on this layout, but I thought, why waste it? I'll punch some out. And then I did not put foam tape under my photo. I just went ahead and left the edges free where I could just tuck here and there. And I used my We Are Memory Keepers punch and made a couple of tabs. And I also cut one of the frames, and I believe that's from not this past Christmas, but the one before, and cut it in half and put part on top and part on the bottom. When I went to put the lace back in, I almost put it on top of that frame, and I thought, oh, I don't want to hide that. And you can still see the lace behind the frame, so yeah, the lace went in the back, even though my original intention was to kind of tuck it in front. As soon as I seen what I was doing, nah, I didn't go for it. I just love adding the rub-ons onto the layout, and so I am cutting bits and pieces. And I started to just cut this whole thing out, and I thought, no, I'll just use half and save half for another layout. But you will see me use it later on the left-hand side because I kind of left it, just sitting there. And then when I thought I was done with the layout, I picked it up and actually looked at it and thought, oh, I got to put a little more up on the left-hand side. So I will use the other half of that. I have foam tape underneath that circle piece, and it says Holly Jolly Days. And my brother and his wife are in front of a red truck, so this paper was perfect. This is from, I believe, not last Christmas, but the one before, because there was a lot of white splatters on that one, so I'm kind of thinking it's from it. I think, well, I know that the branding strip had already been cut off, so yeah, I started to use it once, I'm pretty sure. And so I can't tell exactly which collection it was. So that's why I'm saying 49 and Market. I cut a kind of ragged edge there, and I'm just going to tuck it in on the side. And then I'm going to decide I'm going to need a little more, but it'll be a couple of minutes because I'm thinking as I'm going, and I thought, well, I'd put that there. I need something else, but what? Oh, here, I finally figured it out. I decided to put some the candy cane, and this is from the 6x8 pad, so it's smaller, and just kind of tuck it in there with it. And since there is both of those papers in the top with the tabs, I thought it'd go really good there on the left. And see that string, paper string there? I love that. And I thought, I've got to figure out a way to have it lay in there and it still look good because I want to put it there. But it'll be a few minutes before I decide what I'm going to tuck it in with. But it won't be much tucking, not much at all. I used two of the tickets from this last year's, I think it's called Ticket Ephemera package. And since this was taken like on the 24th, I wanted that there. But then I wanted another ticket, so I went ahead and put the 6 there. You may have noticed I put it upside down and had it as a 9. And then I seen the December was upside down. So I thought, well, I guess it must be a 6 and flipped it over. This Merry and Bright is a die cut from a Tim Holtz die. I think it's called Christmas Phrases, and I've had it for many years. I don't know if it's still available, but it was already cut out, and it may or may not have had a dot for the bright. So you've seen me take my scissors and kind of cut little tiny chunks out on each side of the end of the eye. You know how some of them will do and have the dot right there with the eye? That's what I thought I was going for. I don't know if it looked as good as a professionally done one, but I can see a little bit of a bump there. But if there was a dot in that envelope that all this was in, uh, I didn't find it. I was lucky to find the uh, and sign, ampersand sign. I was lucky to find it. So I was happy that I did because I seen the two words and I wasn't sure if that was in there or not, but it was. Um, oh, I am trying to figure out what I want to add where because I wanted to have a good sized cluster there. Since there is those two trucks in already on here, I mean they kind of screamed make us into a cluster. I wanted to have a bigger one there on the right. But like I said, it looks unbalanced at the end and I do throw a little more on the left at the top. Oh, and I had to add another of the rub-ons, and it is from the Noel collection. And because I can tell that the greenery looks just a little bit different with it, but I did cut it apart. And here my camera went off, and y'all might notice there's a little bit of a skip of stuff because, yeah, I rubbed some more stuff on. But yeah, I get to playing with this stuff and just forget about the time and knowing it'll go off in 30 minutes. And 30 minutes just flies by, so it catches me unaware. I apparently already used half of that rub on with the green striped candy cane looking thing, so I used the other half. It fit perfectly there, and I wanted to add a little more, to have more layers there. So I added a strip of that polka dot, black polka dot, well, white polka dots on black. And then also I am adding a strip that says deck the halls. Well, I'm not going to add the whole strip, but it's laying there under my hands, and I am going to cut it off and add it there too. I put the button up on foam tape, the heart-shaped button, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the poinsettia and greenery to it in just a minute, not very long at all. But while I am doing that, I want to mention that down there below you will find the links to everybody that's doing the Christmas in April. So lots of inspiration for some Christmas things. We like to get ahead or catch up. I don't think I've got ahead in a long time, but yeah, I'm on catch up. I put cardstock behind the tree and the little fawn there so that there would be a little dimension down there with that truck instead of it just being all flat. But I didn't want it as thick as using foam tape. And I only put it under the body and head, neck and head of the little deer. And I glued the legs straight down. There was a smaller poinsettia, and I thought I could use it there to add just one more little layer there. I did not put no um, foam or cardstock on it, and I'm just tucking it all down in that little corner. I have some more poinsettias. Thank goodness I like the poinsettias. So I'm going to add them in a couple of more places on the layout. That little strip, I love that on some of Katie's papers. And since it's not on all of them, of course, there are some rub-ons, but I think I used all the fragment ones. And I think she calls them paint swatches. I think that's what she calls them. And then she calls these fragment ones. But I am going to add just a little more dimension up in that cluster. I thought about putting it all the way over in the left-hand corner, but I thought I'd do it just a little bit different and scoot it over a tiny bit. And I am cutting, I don't think I add any of the greenery on here that I don't cut up and use pieces here and there to stretch it a little farther. And you seen that little button that just kept laying there and moving and laying there? Well, I finally decided to go ahead and put it on there. And uh, I also am going to, in just a second, I'm going to add a couple of hearts to that green circle. I figured that they're sitting there together all snuggled up, and those hearts look like they're snuggled up. So I added it to it so that, well, that's what I was thinking in my mind anyway. They may not think that when they see the layout, but that's what I was thinking in my mind. And these stars are just the cutest. Instead of adding enamel dots here and there, I am adding the stars here and there. I notice them. I don't know if anybody else will notice them, but I notice them and I like them. I will pull out a couple of more when I add that cluster in the upper left-hand corner of the photo cluster. But yeah, I used all that was on that little strip, but I will end up using it. Well, when I put the other half of that text fragment that I used on the right-hand side, and when I put it on the left-hand side, I will go ahead and use the stars that are with it. Or maybe they were just by it and caught my eye. I don't know. But I will end up putting them on there. And I don't guess I put enough glue on this stuff because when I go put that fragment on there, everything starts to move. And I think, man, where's my glue? It's not around at all. So I will have to add a little more glue to it. But I love these text fragments. They just kind of peek out here and there. And when you see the close-ups, this paper, this background paper, it is so pretty. It has text fragments all over it, and of course splatters and snow, which, my plan was to add some more splatters of white on here. However, it looks fine without it. I just happened to think of it just now. But it looks fine without it. But that was my plan when I first started the layout. But yeah, I love the white splatters on there for the snow. And so let's see, where am I at here? Oh, I'm trimming down some of the greenery to get everything to fit and snuggle around my text fragment. Can y'all tell I watch Katie Petite videos? I love hearing what she thinks about her collections because, she does them ahead of time, and then she sends them in to the woman in charge of 49er Market, and they decide what's going and what isn't and how to do different things. And I love hearing how pleased with how she thinks something came out. And she uses the word text fragments quite a bit on there. But that's it. That's my layout. I had a lot of fun making it. Of course, I was using 49er Market, and I was creating a Christmas layout too. So, I love doing that too. But there's the cluster with the two little hearts on the Holly Jolly Days. And I hope you can tell here that there is dimension. You can see a little bit of shadowing and everything and tell that it's just not completely flat there. And that deer just looks so cute. And then there's the upper part of that one cluster with the Christmas package, and then up there at the top, the other cluster with the heart. And here's over at the side where I finally decided what to do with that. And I just now made sure that loop on the ribbon is over the top of the Christmas wishes. So yeah, I guess I didn't glue it down. So I will be going back in there and gluing it down where it is up there and stays up there. And here's the top cluster with the uh, tabs and everything. Oh, I forgot I went ahead and took another photo of this a little bit closer up. But yeah, there's the layering of the strips there and the rub-on. But that's it. That's my layout. I had so much fun creating it, and I hope you found something that you'd like to lift or use from it, or if the whole thing. But thank y'all so very, very much for watching. Make sure you check out all the links down there below and see what they created. But have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.